Hi, my name is Cindy, Z9 Designs. Falloween is a collaboration where I can make fall or Halloween DIYs. So since I don't do Halloween, I'm going to make some unique fall DIYs from a painting to a unique pumpkin and more. So sit back and relax while I start the show. DIY number one, a fall DIY painting. The supplies needed include brown, green, and pumpkin colored acrylic paint, a hard canvas 5 by 7, and a pencil. I began this painting by drawing a large pumpkin and then a small pumpkin with a pencil. And then I also added just a few leaves. So all you need to do is determine how large you want the pumpkins. I added a stem and drew a few leaves, as you can see, which multiplied. I am painting the large pumpkin orange and highlighting it with real brown. A smaller pumpkin was painted green with brown highlights. The leaves were painted various colors. Some were dark green, some were light green. There was a few that were dark and light orange. And in addition, some were painted cream or beige. The stems on the pumpkin were painted brown and they were highlighted with some watered down brown paint and maybe just a little hint of black. And as you can see, again, like I said before, the leaves multiplied as I continued, and the pumpkin was topped off with a tendril. Finally, I gave some depth to the pumpkins to finish it off using green acrylic paint that was underneath the pumpkins. Then I let it dry overnight. And then I placed it on my easel to display in my kitchen. I think this is just absolutely beautiful. Let me know what you think. I'm not an expert at painting, but I try really hard. DIY number 2, a soap container pumpkin. The supplies needed include a Dollar Tree pumpkin soap dispenser, and it actually had soap in it, leaves, wood stem, hot glue, some beads, tiny orange flower, jute, and some wire jute. I purchased this pumpkin soap dispenser with the intention of putting it in my bathroom. I was just going to put it there, maybe do a little something to it. But when the soap dispenser did not work, I decided to make a pumpkin out of it instead of taking it back to the store. Because, you can use the soap later. So I drained the soap and put it into another container to use at another time. And then I cleaned it up. And so now it was time to dress it up. It is a small container, so I did not want to overwhelm it with a lot of stuff around it. So I kept it fairly simple. I put a wood stem in the opening and it fit perfectly. So all I had to do then was to hot glue 2 leaves around the top, including a tiny orange flower. Now, one thing I had to do was to add some beads into the container. Preferably, it might be good to put some rocks to weigh it down because it's pretty light, but I put just a whole lot of beads in there, and that seemed to do the trick. Now, the good thing about this, I can take the beads out because the stem comes out, and I can add rocks and remove my beads and use the beads for something else. And then I took some jute and I wrapped it around the opening to hide, the plastic stem. Then a tendril was made from wire jute. And the wood stem was placed in the opening. And these things were hot glued on top, except for the stem, because I want to be able to remove this stem, put different things in there, and put it back. I put the pumpkin on my tiered tray, and it looks marvelous. And because the color was already copper, I like that color, so I decided to use that because that color is kind of trending this year. Now, Falloween is hosted by House on Noble and Buffy's Design. These are super women who love to help others achieve their goals. They are on their crafting game, so be sure to subscribe, like, save, and comment. And the link to their channels is in the description box below. There are other crafters who have joined in this collaboration, so I want you to show them some love also. And be sure to subscribe, like, save, and comment on their channels also. And the link to the playlist is in the description box below. So now on to DIY number 3, a fall felt basket. The supplies needed include some felt, a template, which was a plate, a punch, embroidery thread and needle, beads, wooden leaves, and one chipboard leaf. Now, I used a salad plate for my pattern for the circle. I traced around the plate and I cut it out with my scissors. And the plate measured about 8.5 inches. And so then I had to measure where I was going to punch out the openings around the circle for bead placement. So it was approximately every 5/8 of an inch, or maybe a little bit less. I used a punch that was not too large because I didn't want the holes to be too big and then everything kind of falling apart. Then I threaded a large needle with green embroidery thread and began putting beads on every other opening. And when I finished, I just gathered the thread and tied it off. Now, you don't want to tie it off in a hole unless you're going to make a big knot. So what I did was I put the first knot through the felt and then into the opening. But I thought it still needed a little something. You know how crafters are. We look at it and say, no, it needs to have something else. So I found a small chipboard leaf and I tied that to one of the openings. Then I hot glued tiny wooden leaves to every other bead on the outside of the felt. Now, I just put some candy in mine, but you can put keys or jewelry or anything that you would like inside. DIY number 4, pot scrubber pumpkin. The supplies needed include one copper-coated pot scrubber, stem, leaf, and a ribbon. This DIY is so simple that you do not need to have much skill. All you need is to gather a sim from outside, or you can purchase one. I like to do this instead of using a fake one. Next, put the sim in the middle of the pot scrubber, add a leaf and tie a ribbon around the stem. So simple, but so impactful. And the interesting thing about this DIY is when fall is over, you can use it to scrub your pots. Yay, this is a winner. So, if you have liked what you've seen, please subscribe, like, save, and comment. Also, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Facebook. And thanks for watching and joining the family. I appreciate all of your comments. And remember, don't let anyone steal your joy today. This is Z9 Designs. See you later. Bye-bye.